Hello, welcome back to my channel, and this is the Big Brother 1 review, and this was supposed to come out last week, but I was unable to finish my rewatch, so I then had to postpone this video a week later to actually finish my rewatch of the season. And coming off the rewatch, this season sucks. I mean, it is so boring throughout. I mean, the first round is fine. The next 3 rounds are okay. But then after that, it's such a slog to get through, and I rarely found myself actually being entertained. Which again, I was supposed to watch 10 episodes per day until the day I was supposed to upload it, but I wasn't able to finish it because it was just so boring. The cast is boring to Josh, to Curtis, to Jamie, to Cassandra, to Eddie at some points. Like, most of this cast is pretty forgettable in the Big Brother world, except for, like, Eddie and Chicken George. So, let's talk about it. And so, with my Big Brother 1 review, let's begin with Week 1, which was an okay start to the season. I mean, we start off with, like, 2-minute previews of all the contestants, and then we get, like, 5-minute, and then at the end we get 5 minutes of them actually being in the house. But throughout the week, it's just all Will, Mega, and Jordan pissing people off. From Jordan pissing Eddie off by saying that models are stupid, and then Jordan having to keep back her secret of being a stripper, along with Mega just getting into a lot of confrontations here. And Mega was fantastic in this first few weeks. If it wasn't for him, this season and these first 2 weeks would be a drag to get through. But then Will, Mega, and Jordan become nominated. Both Will, Mega getting 6 votes, Jordan getting 5, which was pretty predictable. And in week 2, we see the Jordan and Will Mega relationship, just like them becoming best buddies. One of them's about to go home, and it's obviously going to be Will Mega. But Jordan does come out as being a stripper here, so yeah. Anyways, Will Mega does get banished here, and he was my favorite character here. I mean, he's just so fun. He was so entertaining throughout, and I do believe that at the finale, he said that once I left, this show became big boring, and I completely agree. He made these first couple of weeks for me. If it wasn't for him, I don't know how I would have gotten through these first couple of weeks. Anyways, moving on to week 3, where we see the budding romance of Josh and Brittany and Josh and Jordan, which becomes a prominent storyline for this round of the game, where Josh is caught between Jordan and Brittany, trying to play both sides. I mean, I don't even think he was trying to play both sides. I think he was just trying to appease the other people so none of them feel bad, because honestly, that's what everyone tries to do in this season. So, Jordan is very confused by Josh, and Brittany's very confused by Josh, but it really doesn't matter as Eddie hears that George is being insulted by Curtis, with Curtis not even meaning it, that Curtis makes George feel stupid while playing a card game. And this ultimately leads to Curtis being nominated 6-5 along with Jordan. And it was pretty obvious who was going home here. But anyways, on to week 4, where the puzzle challenge, where Cassandra does most of the work. Like most of the clips where I'm paying attention, it's just Cassandra working on the dominoes. And the love triangle becomes a prominent storyline, with Josh being called out for playing both sides. And I wanted Curtis to go home here, as Jordan was fantastic television, but Jordan ends up going here, and Jordan was a really fun character, as she brought a lot of entertainment to the show with her fight with Eddie, to her relationship with Mega, Those are top 10 dynamic duos of all time. Jordan, Mega, obviously. Better than Will and Boogie. Unpopular opinion. Just kidding. But Jordan's storyline of being a stripper and her having to come out to them. And after this, it's like, did Jordan pose nude or not after the show? And it's just weird. Anyways, moving on to week 5, where Karen is missing her kids a lot after George got a letter from her home. From home, and Karen gets some letters from home, and it's all an emotional breakdown. And Brittany and Karen, I forgot to mention, are very close throughout these first couple of weeks. But anyways, at the nominations, Josh once again being called out for the love triangle with him, Brittany, and Jordan, gets nominated 5-3 along with Cassandra and Karen. And Karen wants to quit because she misses her kids. And after this, it's really uncomfortable because, on to week 6, it's really uncomfortable because Karen is talking with the girls that, oh man, Curtis nominated me. Oh, even though it was Jamie who nominated her, and Curtis didn't even nominate Karen. But Karen is just really hostile toward Curtis and just completely ignores him. But once she's banished, she apologizes to Curtis, calls out Jamie, and Karen is banished here. And Karen was a pretty fun character. She brought a lot of drama to the show with her complaining about George and her blaming Curtis for the nominations. But I wasn't really sad that she got home here. She was kind of getting grating by the point that this actually occurred, so it was good that she went out at this point. Moving on to week 7, where Brittany and Josh just call it off as friends and agree to remain friends. And Josh also talks about how outside of the house he would probably try and pursue a relationship with Jamie. But anyways, I think this is the first time banners start flowing up, and at the nominations we have everyone but Jamie getting nominated here, with Jamie getting 1, everybody else but Chicken George getting 2, and with Chicken George getting 3 nominations, which was a really fun moment to see, where it leads a lot of suspicion of where this could be going, as here I would probably vote for Cassandra to go. But anyways, throughout the week, this is a pretty amazing week, not for anything that actually happens, but with the amount of suspense that this show brings. Because earlier in the week, they showed how popular each person was. Brittany was first, George was second, Cassandra was third, everybody else except for Curtis was tied for fourth, and then last was Curtis. So everybody was treating it like it was going to be Curtis, Brittany, or George due to Brittany and George's popularity, and also Curtis being the least popular. But all the time, it's like, oh, George is going home, and George is going home. And Jamie ends up, it's really weird, because she gets to announce who's banished, and it's just a weird scene. But anyway, she announces that Brittany is banished from the house, which was a real shock, because everyone was thinking that it was either going to be George or Curtis, and Brittany wasn't even in the equation. But Brittany does go home. Brittany does go home here, and she was probably the best character along with George left. I mean, she brought a lot of fun energy to the show, and I wouldn't have mind seeing her back, but sadly she probably won't come back, so that sucks. But hey, she was a really fun character here, a lot with her starting the love bed, her in the love triangle with Jordan and Josh. Every single time she was on television was a pretty fun moment. So seeing her getting to come back yet is pretty disappointing, but she was a fine character even though she hasn't came back yet. Sorry, I had to plug my phone in. Anyways, moving on to week 9, where I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened here. I mean, it was so boring, so let's just go on to the nominations. So 3 people end up getting nominated here: Curtis, Eddie, and Cassandra. And moving on to week 10, where George finally starts his funny outfit trend, where he grows his little vine suit, and this is where they also bring in money as a temptation for people to leave the house. Where it was last week, but they gave an offer for 30,000 to leave, then 50,000 to leave, and if somebody left, they would replace it with Brittany. And then George in this week is also like, oh guys, the game all along was for us to quit, and it's like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't for you to quit. They just wanted you to stay. Please, just stay, please. You're ruining their television show. And anyways, George is obviously feeling bad about it, and he said, at the nomination show, at the banishment show, he says that he shouldn't have influenced people's decision, and he is sorry. But anyways, we get Cassandra going home here, and R.I.P. Cassandra Walden, but she was horrifically boring. I mean, her feud with Will Mega and her just being a social outcast, she just wasn't really good TV. She was really boring throughout the show, and I didn't care that she was banished. But she did pass away last year, so I'm sorry about that. Moving on to week 11, where the challenge was a really weird challenge where they have to make up a song and then sing it. Anyways, during the banishment show, 4 people get nominated, everyone except for Josh, and this is the first time Jamie gets nominated here. But it's pretty sad because all of the banners that fly above the Big Brother compound finally catch up to George, and George is finally banished after his wife Teresa in Illinois keeps swooping up votes to eliminate Cassandra, to eliminate Brittany, his biggest competition, and he gets voted out. And George was the most fun character left. He was really fun with his little outfits, and he was just a really wholesome guy in the show. But you could tell that he was kind of a social pariah with him, except for Eddie. Except for his relationship with Eddie, where he just kept getting banners flown around like, nominate George, banish George, which really made him feel bad. And I really feel bad for George, but it kind of made me feel less bad. And he was like, guys, let's just all quit. We get 5, we all win anyway. It's like, no, they're just going to bring in recruits and none of you guys get the money. Like, what is he talking about here? But yeah. Anyways, moving on to week 12, where this is the final week in the house, and people are reminiscing over good times. They all talk about who nominated them in the past, and everyone's nominated here. 2 votes for Jamie from Eddie and Josh. Same thing with Curtis. Curtis and Jamie both nominate Eddie and Josh, giving everyone 2 votes each, putting everyone up for banishment. And I forgot to mention this earlier. That's what I do in this series. I forgot to mention stuff. But Jamie previously made a very controversial decision, choosing a casting director, Anthony, over talking to her mother. Where I didn't really care about her decision. I felt like that. I think choosing Anthony was the right decision because she was just seen her mother anyway. But it was very controversial with the public, and everybody was pretty pissed about it. But Jamie does get banished here, and Jamie was really boring. To her trying to be this nice girl where she rolls dice, but she still ends up being called out for being fake anyway by like Brittany when she gets a phone call from Josh. It's just she wasn't good TV at all. She barely brought drama, and she would never think strategically, which is a lot with this cast. Nobody wanted to play strategically except for Eddie and Will. And obviously Will Mega was the first boot, but Yeah, moving on to the finale, where we do get some fun moments with Josh's dance in the penultimate episode. But the finale, ultimately, I love this finale just because Will, Mega, Jordan, and Brittany are all brought back, which is awesome because I missed them. And we're down to Curtis, Josh, and Eddie. And I felt like it was the best possible thing that happened that Eddie won because he was probably the one I would have voted for, considering that he did play the most strategically, considering his last nominations and to the way that he spoke about the show. And it was also pretty clear that he was winning due to his little background of surviving cancer and not having a leg. Anyways, Curtis was fine. He had some pretty good jokes throughout, but other than that, he was pretty boring. So he didn't bring much entertainment to the show. And Josh, aside from the love triangle, was the most boring person on this season. I cannot tell you a single thing other than the love triangle that I could find entertaining out of him. He was just so monotone throughout the season, and he tried to play up being this nice guy and always apologize every time he felt he did something wrong. And it was just, I just didn't care for him. He didn't bring great TV to the show at all, so him losing here was really exciting for me. And Eddie was the winner, and Eddie was probably the best character out of the Final Four. He thought the most strategically in a season where you couldn't really play strategically, as it's apparently in the rule books where you're not supposed to talk about nominations until after the nominations are set, and which is a really weird rule, which really prevents people from actually playing the game. But I felt like with this rule in place, Eddie was the only one thinking strategically. And even then, the show was like, hey, you think it's strategically? You think it's strategically? Because it's frowned upon in the outdoors. Don't do that. But, yeah, Eddie was the best possible winner here. As it was a really weird scene where after the show, like when they went to an ad break, it's just like a 30-second clip of just Eddie looking at the check and just like in awe, and it was really weird. But anyways, Eddie was a fun character where he had some fun moments with him and Chiquita the pug, and he got boring at times where he didn't really do much, but once again, he was the best character out of the Final Four, and I would have voted for him if I could have voted at the finale. Anyways, overall takeaways. This season sucks. With only about Will, Jordan, Brittany, George, and Eddie who I actually liked during this season. Everyone else was just sort of boring, especially people like Cassandra Curtis, Josh, and Jamie. So, yeah, this season, not my favorite in the world. I think it's probably the worst season of reality television out of the Big Brother, Survivor, and The Amazing Race that I've ever watched. So, yeah, this is going to be at the bottom of the list, so expect every other season to overtake it. But anyways, where does it rank in this show? Anyways, so far we've only ranked this season out of the series. So it ranks at number 1 for now, but expect it to be number 2 when we review Big Brother 2. But anyways, next week I am not going to be coming out with the Amazing Race review, as I want to try and finish up watching the series. Right now I'm on season 27, so I want to try and finish up watching the series until I actually make a review on the seasons. So anyways, this is me tuning out. Next week I will be making a Survivor winner rankings in honor of the 40th season and 20th anniversary of the show. Anyways, this is Total Drama Turtle. Bye-bye.